Hi guys, what is going on? And today I'm back with more XRL highlights. This time it is around the Brazilian Grand Prix, and you know what? I actually did quite a lot of practice this week, and I was feeling quite confident going into this one. You know, I did lots of time trial practice. Competed in the Dev League this week, which, as you will see, it kind of got off to a bit of a bumpy start. Coming out of turn 5, just lost my rear end, and that was me out of qualifying. And that's not quite how I planned this weekend to start, because obviously this is like my practice for my race on Sunday, but as the 5 lights go out after what was a very long hold, my initial getaway wasn't the best, but you know what, I managed to slip through the row in front of me, which was very nice, and going into turn 1 there was a nice gap in front of me, but I wasn't taking any chances because my teammate comes storming up the inside. I try and ring it around the outside of 2, get cut off, and I'm basically where I started, so not the best of starts. But safety car came out towards the end of lap 1, and as we start lap 4, on the restart, Hurricane manages to lose it on the exit of turn 1. My teammate goes ploughing into him, and I basically take the position, so that's me up into P11, thank you very much. But to be honest, I'm not going to show you all the race highlights, you know, just like I do with the normal X3 race, but I thought I'd show a little bit of what happened. So as VSC came out, there was an incident between these two cars here, and the McLaren was literally parked on the apex. Like, could you imagine me getting a penalty just by going off the track, literally having to avoid the McLaren? It would just be my luck, wouldn't it? But as the rain comes down, we've got a VSC, it's about to end, and we're looking to go on to Winters at the end of this lap, but it doesn't stop me from doing my best Raikkonen impression, as I just go to fucking Narnia, don't I? But at the end of that lap, I do in fact box, and coming up to the final corner, I've let Whippy pass because he's the leader for blue flags, and well, what's this? I am off on a mission again. Literally, same corner, lap later, I do the same thing again. Not ideal, to say the least. But as we start lap 31, Gusty ends up braking a little bit too late, hits ballistic up the arse, and I've just got absolutely nowhere to go, so that's my front wing gone, thank you very much. And as we start what is my final lap of the Grand Prix, there's some lovely battling going on for what looks like the podium, and Asmo goes sweeping off to the right. I don't know if my teammate was involved in that, but they kind of just partied like the Red Sea, and I just went straight through the middle. None of them for position, like, but oh well. And this is me coming across the line to take P8, but because Asda manages to crash out on the last lap, I do in fact take P7 because he doesn't get any points. But for me, it was still valuable experience because doing long distance running, I just want to get lap after lap in, especially in the wet. I've not done any practice in the wet yet this weekend, so it was a good little info to try and see what the car would feel like, and it felt pretty good, to be fair. But here we are then for the X3 race itself, and after yesterday I was feeling pretty comfortable, but this is the race that, you know, all the marbles is for. But before we even start our first flying lap in Q1, there's already been an incident here between Alan and Boothie, and Boothy's out of qualifying, so that's clearly not ideal for him, and here's why. So he's just slowing down to look at behind him to give way to people who are on faster laps, and Alan just kind of slows down as well, but just drives into him, so a very odd one to say the least, and I'm just kind of stuck here now. I'm trying to let people go past just so I can get ready to start my lap, because I don't know who's on a lap and who isn't, so it really was a bit of a confusing and a bit of a wild first part of qualifying, to be fair. But as I start my first flying lap, as you can kind of see, at turn 1 I lost the back end a little bit while starting to accelerate, and then same again here as I go to start the third sector. It's very odd how the back end just wanted to kind of go, but that was mainly due to like elevation change, so that is what it is. But my first lap was like a 1:10.8, which wasn't very quick at all, and I knew I had to do better if I wanted to get through to Q2. But my second lap of Q1, as you can kind of imagine, just wasn't much better. You know, it was kind of awful in some places, so I just had enough and I boxed, and you know, with 5.5 minutes to go in the session, I've still got enough time to kind of put 2 laps in, so I put plenty of fuel in the car, went back out and see what I can really do. But on my second lap I am up by like over half a second, and I just run wide, and that's me invalidated, and it wasn't ideal at all, but I just lowered off my ERS and fuel, saved up, went back again for one more crack. I've got to make this one count, but I've shot it all away on turn 2, and that's it. That's me out in qualifying 1, and it was really frustrating because I honestly thought I was capable of like getting into Q3 or like at least, you know, like top 12, say. You know, everyone was really close together in this one. Like, I had the potential to probably get like a 9.5, which was really, as you can tell, on the cusp of getting towards the top 10. And with people trying to do it on the mediums, I would have put on the softs, and I honestly felt like I was comfortable in getting through. But it sucks that I can't put a lap together. Like, I need to fix my one lap consistency because it is dreadful. As for the strategy though, simple one stop, soft to medium. The second set of softs I'm just going to ignore because we just don't need to, but starting from P18 we just don't know. But we have 5 lights and away we go. And typically, you know, I'm normally good at my starts, and I've just been these two in front of me straight away, and Classic's backed out, and now I try to slip my way through between the Ferrari and Audacity, but I couldn't quite get that move stick, and Ballistic's just gone past me, and Classic got past me as well, but Ballistic got past us both. I then get back past Classic, and at this point, you know, P16 not too bad, and Ballistic ends up backing up, and all of a sudden the Ferrari spun on the inside, and there's a massive pile up involving like 5 cars here. And to be honest with you, didn't really expect that to be what happened on the first lap. You know, I get a 5-second penalty for hitting Ballistic because he had 3 wheels on his wagon. How I actually kept on going, I don't know, but I've got no wing at all, and yeah, back to last place, innit, really? You know, me and Classic, back of the pack, and as Whippy's had an incident coming out of turn 5, that's not ideal for him. On the inside.
Thought that might happen. Yeah, got it.
Well, get out.
Oh!
I can't avoid that one. Holy shit.
No.
I can't move. I can't move. You're going to have to move, Si.
I'm out. I'm moved.
So yeah, not the best of starts, but could have been worse. I could have been out the race, as you can tell by what's going to happen to Whippy. He comes out of turn 4, heads towards turn 5, and just gets a nice little tap from behind, and that's it. Wheel gone. So feels bad for the 2 drivers that dumped straight away, but lap 1, I end up boxing because I need a new front wing, get some set of mediums, and as we go to end the safety car on lap 4, heading on to lap 5, Buffy gets caught napping a little bit there, and I just slice one up the inside, try and make the move stick going into turn 1. Yes, I do. End up blocking him slightly for turn 2, so he doesn't have a chance to get back past, but Classic manages to lose the back end at turn 2, so I have to back out slightly there from getting a run on him, and Stumpy loses the back end at turn 3, so Boothie manages to get past the pair of us and is looking to get past Classic into turn 4. Does he dive bomb for it? No, he doesn't, but it's still a decent restart from him, as Jazzello is on the inside of turn 4, so that's another position for all of us. And Fastest Cargo is now facing the wrong way. I'm not too sure what's going on here, but people are off left, right and centre. It's starting to become like wacky races over here. Oh, side by side into the Boothie. What's going to happen? Nobody knows.
Been hit. Oh my god. Oh, there's no Ferrari off. Left hand side, turn 3.
I think that's the same. No, it's not the same Ferrari. Boothie's done me. So yeah, interesting from Classic's point of view. He got a little tap on the outside there, which kind of spun him round, and that was unfortunate for Stumpy. I think he just lost the back end at turn 2 and then went for a ride across the track at turn 3. But on the restart, I felt like I had quite a bit of pace, but just at the final corner, I lost kind of track with Boothie there. But Asda's crashed at the final corner on the run up to the start-finish straight. I had to back out to slow down for yellow flags, and Stumpy's just gone straight past me. I'm not sure if he knows the rules about slowing down for yellow flags, but here's Classic's view of the incident. Boothie's not very quick here.
He's out now. Is he? Oh, crash!
Well, that wasn't slowing for yellows, was it, Stumpy? You're nicked, mate. Fucking nicked. But the safety car does come out, but that really is a hot topic at the minute for the stewards and the admins, because we're trying to make sure that people aren't speeding under yellows. Like, for example, I backed out because I didn't want to get involved in the incident, but Stumpy behind me just sprints on and overtakes me, which isn't obviously ideal. So we're trying to get common ground to make sure that everyone understands the rules. But as you probably noticed, as Ren was coming out the pits, I slowed down and just let him go on ahead because I know he's the faster car, so I'm hoping that if I can basically follow him through the field, it would be more beneficial for me instead of battling with him and keeping him behind me, of course. But as the safety car pulls in and we're about to go green, I didn't really keep tabs with him, so the gap in front of me is not ideal, and fastest cargo has clearly got the jump on me, goes up the inside and makes the move stick. I try and cut back and try and get a better exit for turn 3, but couldn't really do much more there. It was really a poor start from me and I really got caught napping. But as we come off the hairpin, Ren runs slightly wide on the long left-hander, cuts me off ever so slightly, but there's nothing much in there. And then Jazzello tries to go up my inside on the final corner. Didn't really expect him to be there, so I kind of shut the door a bit too aggressively, but there wasn't really much in that, you know, it is what it is. And as we go to turn 1, I lose the back end slightly. I downshifted to first for some reason. Then Stumpy tries to go past me, bumps me across a little bit, but I probably should have given me a little bit extra room there, but I keep the place anyway. But as we go into turn 6 and 7, I run slightly wide and that compromises me. And I'm having to stay wide before I can turn in, so Jazzello gets past me and then Stumpy does one up the inside, makes a move stick. I had to back out slightly and I'm just into last place again. And as I'm trying to chase them back down, Jazzello goes up the inside of both of the Ferraris and ends up pushing Pulse Motor wide. I then do a long dive bomb around the outside and get the pair of them. That is my best overtake in this race, and possibly my best overtake of the entire season, because that was really some good opportunistic shit. You know, I knew I had the traction to go around them and I just swooped them. So coming to turn 4, Pulse Motor's trying to get me back, but King Pleb is out of the race, and that then brings out a VSC, so we both have to slow down. King Pleb is off to the left there, and I think Retro Rixie was involved because he's going really slowly on the long right-hander. He's off the track completely. He must have wing damage. But here is the incident. So Pleb's got a run on Retro. He tries to do one up the inside. Retro breaks quite late, gives him just enough space on the inside, ends up just staying on the track, and then King Pleb just kind of understeers into him, I think. And that's it, they're both round. And how Retro didn't actually end his race there into the wall, I don't know, but it was enough to end King Pleb's race. But we're back to racing, and that means that Pulse Motor was going to have another run on me. He tries to go around the outside, not enough, and then there's not enough space on the inside of the corner, so I'd take that. And he does try it again into turn 4, but then thinks better of it and backs out. I use the curb a bit too much, lose the back end slightly, and that is him up on the inside of turn 5. And he does actually lag in front of me, but he was going to make it past me there anyway, so that's him through. And I'm trying to see what I can do to get back past him, but on the left hand side there, Stumpy is crashing, he is out of the race. And now here's what happened to Stumpy. So it is a really odd one, because as he comes out from the long right hander, he's not even touching anything. It's just the elevation change kind of makes him lose the back end a little, and that gets him a lovely fishtail into the wall, and that's him out of the race, which is unfortunate. So as the green light is now shown, there's a couple of people that are pitted there, so I boost myself up to P12, and again I'm trying to chase down Pulse Moto here, but I've now got Asmo who's pitted all over my gearboxes. Blake spins off to the right there, not really ideal for him, but Asmo's got an absolutely killer run on me, and he's overtaken me before we even get to turn 1, but there's yellow flags for some reason. And as we go around turn 1, we find out why, as the championship leader XRL Rem has been taken out by fastest cargo. Not really ideal there at all, considering he is the championship leader, and he just needs to be clean and not, you know, dump. But going into turn 1, he just gets a tap up the arse by fastest cargo, and that's it, they're both round. And then he does get a 5-second penalty for that small bit of contact there as they try to rejoin, but it's just really unfortunate for him. But a couple of laps later, Rem's going to run on me into turn 4, and I just don't force the issue. I know he's quicker than me, so I just let him pass, and again, try to use him and follow him through, because there is a nice little gaggle of cars here that are fighting in front of me, including Classic. And as we're on to lap 18, we're starting to come towards the end of our first stint on the mediums, but I run a little bit wide there, but not as wide as Pulse Moto, and he just loses the back end, and that's him gone. And I'm back up into the points, but we both still have to stop again, and you can see here that Classic dives into the pits on lap 20. I'm going to go one lap later, as here I come into the box, and we're kind of looking at this point to try and get back up into the points. It would only be the lower end of the points, but it would be points at the end of the day, and who knows, there might be another incident, there might be more safety cars, we just don't know at this point. But as I come out of the pits, I come out in 11th place, Classics is in 10th, and you know, we are really trying to chase down Giselo at the minute, who's on the hard tyres and is just in front of us. And to be honest, I felt like I had quite a bit of pace as I tried to go look for the inside, but just wasn't quite close enough for Classic there. Try and get a switch back towards turn 4, but again, I wasn't quite close enough to make a move, but he wasn't really close enough to get past Giselo, and I felt like I had more pace at this point because I was feeling really comfortable on the soft, so I make the move stick into 10th on Classic, and at this point I just really want to chase down Giselo and try and get past him. If not, I'll just probably give the place back to Classic anyway. But I was catching Giselo up ever so slightly. It was like 2/10 a lap, and at this point I am really close to him, and I can feel like I'm gonna end up trying to make a move on this next lap. But as I say that, Blake is out of the race, and it is another safety car. This is the 3rd safety car of the race, and here's what happened to Blake. So as he goes towards turn 1 at lap 26, he kind of just loses the back end, and at that point he's just a passenger, and it was a very low speed accident in comparison to like Retro's earlier, which was quite high speed at turn 5, and he was okay, yet Blake lost his front wing and his wheel, so bit of a strange one that. But for us, we decided to box and do the double stack, because even though we'd already used all of our soft sets, the soft set that we're going on to now had only actually done 1 lap, which was lap 1, so they were much fresher than the tyres that we did have originally. As I get a penalty for the pit entry for speeding, and then I almost hit the wall and lose my front wing on the exit, so that is not really ideal. But you know what, at the end of the day, we've got fresh tyres now, and we're sat in P9, so we're really hoping that as the safety car comes in, who knows, I might be able to take a couple of places up in front of me. But as we get ready to go racing, fastest cargo just absolutely loads it and gets past like 3 of us under safety car, which was really strange because the pack hadn't actually gone yet. But I lose a position, I'm down into P10, but I get past Pulse Motos, the lap car, and you know, it's really starting to bunch up here. I'm not really too sure what's going to happen. I'm just weighing up my options here, and as we go towards turn 4, I brake slightly too late. I hit the back of fastest cargo, and that's my end plate gone. But to be honest, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm really trying to force my way up into these positions because, you know, I'm up into P9, but I feel like I should be further ahead now. As I go for 1 up, fastest cargo's inside, I make that move stick, I'm up into P8. And I would normally say on to the next one, but because I've lost a bit of my end plate, I can't really do much to fight on, as Jaleb and Entities both come together coming out of turn 5 towards turn 6, and that is them both out of the race. I swoop past and take both of them, so I'm up into P6 now, thank you very much. But here is Jaleb's POV, and to be honest, he tries to get a little run on Rem, but backs out of it. Entities tries to go around his outside, but he can't make that stick, and Jaleb just runs slightly wide, and I think he loses it on the curb, and Entities just is a complete passenger in that. He just gets caught up in it, not much more he can do about that. But for me, I'm about to lose P6 as Gisela goes up my inside. He's now on a soft set of tyres after he pit in the safety car, just like I did, and to be honest, with my front wing damage, I can't really contest this all too much, so I'm just going to try and hold on as best as I can. But next up is Retro Rixie, and I go really defensive into turn 1. He tries to hang it round the outside. I give him just enough space in turn 1, and then he gives me just enough space in turn 2. So that was very nice, fair racing. And as we go towards turn 3 and 4, he tries to go around my outside, and out of nowhere, Asmo's just on my inside now, and we're 3 wide, coming up to the braking zone. What's going to happen? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen. It's me end up spinning and losing more on my front wing, and those two just carry on.
Honestly, what are we doing? Racing or ping pong?
Exactly, Seb. Exactly. I mean, what more could I really do there? Because I just got, like, sausage sandwiched, really. Just 3 into 1 there isn't going to go at all, and I end up coming out worse, which obviously isn't ideal. But at this point, I just want to kind of coast to the end of the race, just make sure I finish. I'm going to finish 9th, unless penalties have anything to say about it. But as we cross the line, it is P9, but it quickly becomes P10 as Classic does overtake me due to penalties, which is a bit of a shame, but it's still points for the both of us. And here are the race classifications. So it does say that Alan won, which is true, but because of his penalty that he received for the incident in qualifying with Boothie, he then slips down to 3rd. So the actual race winner is ES Fiend, which is his first race win of the season. I think it might be his first podium of the season, so congrats to him. But as for me in Classic, you know, 9th and 10th, it's not awful. You know, considering what happened in qualifying, I think I'll happily take that. You know, 18th to 10th, it's not bad. At least I got points. But I think when you look at where I was 6th at one point. It could have obviously been a lot better. And here come the points. So Rem manages to pull out a little bit more on Snake after Snake finishes 4th and Rem gets bumped up to 2nd. But as for me, I'm down into 13th after Fiend gets his win, but I'm just trying to chase down Yui at this point for 12th, and I'm hopeful that I can do that. And here is the constructors. So Red Bull just losing sight of Renault a bit there. They've nearly got it wrapped up. Mercedes overtake Racing Point for 3rd. As for Toro Rosso, we are 1 point behind Alpha because Alpha got 0 points this weekend. So it is really close going into the final 2 races of the season. So again, another good strong performance from us two, and we can actually make some good inroads and get our 8th place back, which rightly so is ours. You know, we deserve it after the season we've had. I tell you, I mean, it's been up and down, left and right, whichever way you look it's been. So 2 races to go. We've got Abu Dhabi, which is next weekend, which I've done 0 practice for so far, so this will be fun. And obviously France, of course, but both titles can be wrapped up before we reach France, so it'll be exciting to see if they do or not. But that's it from me, guys, so thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.